Good evening, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to the weekly Cruise Talk show where we're just kind of talking about anything and everything cruising. See, Desiree is already here. What ship are you sailing on this evening and where to? Well, since we're at home, I'm assuming this is a hypothetical.
Yes.
So how about any transatlantic sailing heading to Europe for a British Isles cruise? How about that? Seen some of those awesome pictures of sailing in Scotland.
Yeah. I think what she's also talking about is usually when we do a live, did a cruise and we do our do's and don'ts.
Oh, well, that very well could be too. Could just be me that's way off topic tonight. That is always a possibility. No cruise since last week's cruise where we talked about the Ruby Princess. We are simply here just to talk a little bit about cruising, just kind of reach out to everybody, interact with everybody, answer cruise questions, just everything about cruising.
It's Cruising Karen says hello, everyone.
Well, hello and welcome to tonight's show. No, nothing new for us as far as cruising. Like I said, we still have our upcoming cruise on the 21st of May. Nothing honestly else. Well, nothing else definitely between now and then.
No.
That's going to be a big bucket list Alaska cruise. So we're still kind of ironing out all of the details as far as that one goes. So far, the only thing we know 100% for sure is we board on Sunday and we fly out the Friday before.
Yes.
So that's really all we know at this point.
That's enough. Going on Mardi Gras again in June. Karen's going on Mardi Gras.
Awesome. I've heard good things about the Mardi Gras. I know they made some changes. They were actually talking about that this week. Chibang and Cocina Del Capitan, two of the specialty restaurants on board the ship. I know they're making some changes where you're only going to eat there free one time. It's been complimentary, those two specialty restaurants, since the ship came out, actually. Something they've done on the Mardi Gras and on the Celebrity. Now they're only going to let you eat there at dinner time, one time complimentary. And then after that, they're going to charge $8 per person if you want to eat there a second, third, or fourth time.
That's not bad.
No, I mean, honestly, it's still not that bad. And those specialty restaurants were Carnival never said they were going to be complimentary forever.
Yeah. Well, that's cheaper than a bar drink.
$8, yeah. I mean, honestly, and we've never been on one of the big ships, though. We've never had a chance to eat at Chibang. But we have eaten at Cocina Del Capitan, which is normally more than $8 on the other cruise ship. Yeah. So $8 is still a really good deal.
Jonathan says, question for you. Why does everyone think the Carnival Elation 98 is Carnival's oldest ship? The truth is the Carnival Sunshine Destiny was built in 96.
Well, honestly, I don't know why they think that. I would actually I absolutely believe you. I don't know why they think that. And those are actually facts off the top of my head. I would not know without looking that up. They may think that because the Elation is fantasy class and the Sunshine is not.
And Destiny?
I think the Sunshine class, if I'm not mistaken, the Sunshine used to be the Destiny. Now it's the Sunshine.
Okay. I love Chibang and ate there at least twice on my last cruise. $8 would be fine with me. Cucina Del Capitan is also great.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, and there's always people out there that are like that are upset. But it's a specialty restaurant. $8 is definitely one of the cheapest prices you could eat at a specialty restaurant. And it's only the Mardi Gras and the celebration that even like Cocina Del Capitan was complimentary, and I want to say it's $18 a person on every other Carnival ship.
Yeah.
So that's still a good deal.
Was on the Mardi Gras back in September. Too many people.
Yeah, that's one of those things about those larger ships. Either you love the size and everything on it, or you think it's too crowded. Now, we haven't sailed on the Mardi Gras or the celebration yet. The first XL from Carnival we will end up sailing on will be the Jubilee, once she gets here at the end of the year. But I have sailed on an Oasis class ship from Royal Caribbean, sailed on Allure of the Season. I don't know. I really liked it. I did not feel it was overcrowded. And they said the ship was pretty full. So I don't know, but at the same time, I don't know how an Oasis class ship, space wise and layout wise, compares to an XL class ship, since I haven't been on one to actually experience it. But I do always kind of feel that Carnival ships do feel a little more crowded than other cruise lines, and I just think that that's because more people are out and about constantly on a Carnival cruise ship, doing the activities and eating and enjoying themselves and the parties and the trivia. I think with more people moving around at one time, that's probably why it feels like that.
Yeah.
Versus anything else.
What Jubilee sailings are y'all on? We are on the December 30th one.
We haven't actually picked one yet. Ever since they canceled our initial one, we haven't actually rebooked the Jubilee yet. I'm thinking we're probably looking at the beginning, January, February 2024 is probably the most realistic.
Yes, Attila the Fun has paid $18 for Cucina, still worth for a specialty dinner. No problem with $8 either if they do that.
Right.
And then Case Stefan says, hello all.
Yeah, my understanding they're only testing that $8 price on the Mardi Gras right now. So, and I guess that's really just to see. And there's some different speculation on it. It may just have more to do with giving every passenger an opportunity to eat there versus someone booking it every single night and maybe someone misses a chance. That's probably the most realistic thing, is that they just want to give everybody a chance to eat their complimentary at least one time. I mean, the fact that they've actually kept the specialty restaurants complimentary this long is actually more surprising than the $8.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And with all the prices and everything going up and the increases constantly going up with cruising, the fact that they've kept specialty restaurants complimentary is actually, it's pretty good.
There are so many venues to eat at for free, so I don't think it's a big deal.
I completely agree with that. We have tried some specialty restaurants here and there, and honestly, it's got to be one that really calls to our attention. It's got to be something that's, we really want to eat, or something that's going to go away. Otherwise, like you said, there's so many free choices that we don't always get to the specialty restaurants.
No, and it's not like it put a damper on our trip either, because we didn't.
No, I mean, we've eaten at Cocina Del Capitan twice because we like it. On Carnival, we've eaten at Sabor on Royal Caribbean, only because that's one of the ones that, is going away. And so we wanted to make sure we got it.
So Attila says, exactly, Chris. It's only fair to others so everyone can try it.
Right.
And then Jonathan says, thanks for replying to my question. I cruised on the Carnival Destiny when she was brand new in 96, and just last January, as the sun shines, she is showing her age. Love the show.
Yeah, there's some ships out there showing her age, but I'm not going to, I can't, I'm trying to get what I'm saying here. When I sailed on the Ecstasy on her final voyage, she was showing her age. She was old. But man, she is still one of my favorite ships.
Yeah, you still talk about it.
I still talk about the Ecstasy. She was a great little ship. I loved it.
B Dove Travels. Did I say that right? Hi, everyone. And then just Cody. I would rather eat the free food and spend my extra money in port or in the casino.
Of course, that's always good to always have the extra money. Our honest problem is that by the time we get around to eating all of the free food and trying everything we want to try, the cruise is over.
Yeah.
That's our biggest problem.
You know what that means, right?
We have to cruise more often.
No, we have to take longer cruises.
Oh, gotcha.
Karen says her first cruise was on the Ecstasy.
I love that ship. I don't know why. I mean, I can't even specifically point to something on that ship and go, this is why I love the Ecstasy. But something about that ship just, it called to me. And it still does. It was sad to see her go. Especially since it turned out I liked it so much.
Yeah.
Well, we do have some longer cruises coming up that you can take. There's a bunch of 11 days, 9 days, 14-day cruises that are fixing to jump off in Galveston in 2024 and 2025. In fact, on board the Carnival Miracle. The Miracle's got quite a few long ones, and you can see that the cruise lines are catching on. This is some stuff Galveston wants, because the Regal Princess has got some long ones. Norwegian's got some long ones. So long cruises are definitely coming up.
Okay, Stefan says they do the longer cruises, so they do specialty dining often. And Cruising Karen, I recently went on an 11-day on the NCL Gem. I thought that was way too long.
Okay, so obviously we do need to do longer cruises if we want specialty restaurants.
Yes.
If you want to try more of those specialty restaurants. And an 11-day. The longest I've done so far is the 9-day on the Radiance of the Seas.
And you said that was long, but I don't know if that was because you were by yourself.
A 9-day solo cruise was a bit much, especially towards the end. Towards the end, I was definitely missing Tiffany. I don't think 9 days would have been too long had you been there. But I saw a lot. I went a lot of new places, and I experienced a lot of new stuff that you didn't get to experience. And I don't know. For me, that takes away a little bit of the cruise.
Yeah. Karen said she was on a solo as well. Just loves cruising, or Kay Stefan just loves cruising. We did 47 days on the Ruby over the holidays.
Ooh.
Wow. My company might disown me if I did 47 days during the holidays.
47 days. I don't know. I don't know if I could do 47 days.
He would miss his dog too much. Don't let him fool you.
I would miss my dog. I miss you too. Back to back to back. Yeah, that's a lot of back to backs. I don't know if I could do 47 days. I have to work my way up to it and find out. The only way I'll know for sure is just to do 47 days. But at the same time, I'm sitting here thinking, 2025, I want to do the transatlantic to Europe, maybe a sailing or two in Europe, and then sail back to the United States. So I don't know how many days exactly that would come out to, but it's definitely going to be more than 9.
Yeah.
What did y'all think of Princess? I think Princess, we talked about this a little bit last week. I'm not 100% sure I could give you a definitive answer today. It was a themed cruise. It was our very first time on Princess. We had a little bit of a learning curve. Nothing wrong with Princess.
No, it was.
Every cruise has something good to offer, and Princess, like all the others, was good. We enjoyed the cruise, loved the ship. But I think I'll be able to give you a much better answer on our love of Princess, or exactly how much we love it versus the others, when we get back from Alaska. Because it's going to be an Alaskan cruise, which Princess is, they've been doing it for years and years. They should have that down pat. There's no extra weird theming on the cruise, so you should have a normal Princess crowd, a normal everything, and I think we'll be able to give you a much better definitive answer after Alaska.
Yeah. Hey, Stefan says they missed the dog too. Jonathan sailed on Carnival Fantasy when she was brand new in 91. She will always be my first love, gone but not forgotten.
There was something, and I honestly didn't get it. Because, like I said, the Ecstasy last year was the very first fantasy and only fantasy class ship I'd ever sailed on. And we had talked about it in previous videos. When we first started cruising, we started on bigger ships. And we would actually pull into port, and you would see a fantasy class ship sitting there. And I guess I was a little cruise snobby about it, because I kind of looked at it and said, wow, that ship, it looks old. It looks kind of, junky. And as a matter of fact, I think it was the Carnival Elation I said that about. And so they weren't on the top of our list. And because it was the Ecstasy's last cruise, and because John Heald was on board, we went ahead and I wanted to go on it. And it turns out that the fantasy class are awesome, and I loved them. And boy, I really misjudged that entire class of ship, and it's been one of my favorite ships. So I completely get now where people love that class of ship, and there's people that are just loyal and were absolutely loyal to the fantasy class.
So Stefan at cruising, Karen, they're retired, so that's how they were able to do that long cruise. The Fantasy was our only Carnival cruise in '98, 3 days out of LA. And then just loves cruising, I figured.
2025 is the year to do the 10-day Panama Canal cruise on the Miracle. Yeah, I've been looking. The Miracle has some decent itineraries out of Galveston coming up in 2024. I'm assuming about 2025. Is that the repositioning? I believe that's a repositioning cruise. She's probably going either back to the West Coast because she's coming over here from the West Coast first. But she's going to be doing the ABC Islands, some complete Eastern Caribbean. I saw one on there that's Amber Cove, Princess Key, Dominican Republic, some stops over in the Eastern Caribbean, all from the Miracle. She's going to have some interesting ones.
Hi, Dale. And then round trip in February from Attila the Fuck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Panama Canal is on my list, too. Panama Canal is on my list. I've seen a bunch of them that...
Partial transit, that's
Partial
going
transit.
Back to Galveston.
I don't know, I'm thinking when I do Panama Canal, I may try to do something, a reposition. One that repositions maybe from Galveston over to California or Seattle, then maybe jump in Alaska from there, then fly home, something like that. Tiffany can't make the whole thing. She can always fly out to California and meet me. Something like that. But I definitely want to get through the Panama Canal because I just really want to see it.
Enjoy dinner, Kay Stefan. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize. And then Jonathan says you can still visit the fantasy class ships, Carnival Paradise out of Tampa or Carnival Elation out of Jacksonville.
While they last. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to take Tiffany on at least one of them. I'd like her to at least experience it one time. I think you'd get a real joy out of those ships. To be honest with you, they're just, I don't know, they got older decor, they're laid out differently. And I've said it in previous videos, I know when I was on the Ecstasy, absolutely the best water pressure of any cruise shower I've ever been on was on that Ecstasy. Well, you turn on that water and it pushes you against the wall. It was so strong.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And the air conditioner, good God, I had to turn the air conditioner down as low as it would go because it tried to freeze me out.
Yeah.
And that was on, a super old cruise ship that they were sending to the scrapyard. You get on a brand new cruise ship and they've got all that efficiency and environmental stuff on it. And, sometimes the water trickles out of the shower and you're hoping you get a cool breeze out of the AC. No, that Ecstasy smash you against the wall and freeze you out. It was great.
Desiree says Carnival Fantasy was my first cruise. I was so amazed when I got off the elevator, all the beautiful restaurants, stores, etc. My daughter and I went to the Bahamas. Just Cody says the Carnival Elation has always been my favorite. And Desiree said the water was warm and beautiful. The rest was history.
I told you, there is a love of those fantasy class ships. And I know bigger ships hold more people, all that kind of good stuff. But if one of the cruise lines was to essentially, Carnival was to say, hey guys, let's rebuild a brand new fantasy class ship. Make it just exactly how it was with a few tweaks and changes maybe. You can put the modern stuff on it, but bring out that size, that class of ship again, that layout of ship. People are going to book that ship. They're going to sell that ship. There's too much of a love of it.
Yeah.
And I get why they build newer and bigger and larger ships, more people, more revenue. But these smaller cruise ships that are still out there sailing, no matter what cruise line it is, they're booking. They're getting booked. They're getting filled up. People are on board those ships. We've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been on Grandeur of the Sea. She's not a big ship, but she was full. Radiance of the Seas was full. Ecstasy, when I went on her, she was full. Older, smaller ships. Yeah, they're 20 plus years old. You know, your Disney ship, the Disney Magic, she was full. And she's almost, 30 years old?
I saw an article today. Disney is doing their 25th cruise line anniversary. It's the 25th anniversary for Disney Cruise Lines. They've got a whole dessert menu out for it and everything like that.
Yeah, so those older ships, they fill up. I mean, new ships are great. They got a lot of bells and whistles on them, but sometimes newer is not always better. Excuse me. Newer is definitely not always better. But I can sit here and talk all night about fantasy class cruise ships and small cruise ships. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I drive Tiffany nuts all the time telling her cruise stories. Don't I?
Not all the time.
Not all the time. Did I tell you about the one with the lady in the can of pineapple?
No.
Oh, I didn't tell you the one about the lady. All right. So I was cruising, you know, through Facebook and cruise pages and stuff like that. And I happened to be over on John Heald's page. And apparently, according to him.
Is this one of your what every cruiser wants?
No.
Okay.
No. This was just a story that he mentioned that someone wrote to him about it. That apparently this lady wanted pineapple on her margarita pizza on the Carnival ship. She wanted pineapple so bad she took a can of pineapple with her, took it on board the ship, handed the can of pineapple to the cook at the pizza place, and demanded he cook her a pineapple pizza. Whole can, not open, no nothing, just a whole can. She wanted pineapple.
Karen said, "Don't mention pineapples. The internet's cray cray."
All these pineapples are right side up. These are right side up pineapples. We're simply talking about it on a pizza here because I know exactly what you're talking about. You know what she's talking about, right?
Yes. Can't wait to go on the Grandeur of the Seas May 20th out of Tampa. Will be my second time on her.
Grandeur was a good ship.
Yes, I was on Grandeur.
Yes, you were on Grandeur of the Seas. She was a good ship.
Yes, I liked her.
She was good. She was good, but I liked, what's the one we went on first? Liberty of the Seas?
Sure. I really don't remember the names of those.
You'd have to look at them. They're in order right there. It would be the first one or the second one?
Adventure of the Seas and then Liberty of the Seas.
Okay, so Adventure of the Seas is the one I like the best so far. Well, no, let me take that back. Second, I like the Allure best. It was Allure, Adventure, then Grandeur. Would be my current order of Royal Caribbean ships. Yeah, they're all in order, so if you ever forget which one we're on. And what I'm actually pointing at, I know you guys can't see it on camera, but I save every room key. I put a little piece of magnet on the back of it, and it goes up on the wall. So I keep them in order. That way I can remember the order stuff happened in. Otherwise, I will forget, and I was there, and I will still forget. So, but yeah, Grandeur was a good ship. I don't know, have we been on a bad ship? Honestly?
Not a bad ship. One that we didn't care for as much as others, but never a bad ship. Great idea to do the magnets on the Keycards. Actually, I think we copied it from a gentleman we saw on a Disney cruise. He had all his Disney keys on his door.
Yeah, he had them on his door.
I was a little nervous about that, but I mean, they're old keys. You can't use them anymore, right?
Right, but I do remember seeing that. But no, we had ours up before that cruise.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been keeping them longer than that, baby. I have them all.
Well, I know you went around the house looking for them.
Well, I had to find a couple of them. Some of them for 2016. Yeah, a lot of these ideas aren't ours. Like I said, we've got the key cards that we keep, and they go up on the board. Even the Princess Medallion, turns out it's magnetic all by itself. Who knew? Didn't even need a magnet on that one. It automatically sticks. But we do the key cards. Tiffany does magnets from every new place she ever goes to. And then we've just recently started the keychains. And the object for the keychains is come Christmas time, they're going to be ornaments on our cruising Christmas tree. None of those ideas originated with us.
No.
We've gotten all these ideas from other cruisers who have thought of this. The keychain idea we got from somebody else, the key cards. So I also collect the ship models. But recently I've had some bad luck with them being available on the ships.
Yeah.
I mean, out of 4 cruises this year, 2 of the ships, the Disney ship and the Ruby Princess, neither one of them actually even had the ship model. So they're getting harder to get occasionally, at least this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we always have to find something else. But I was a little disappointed with the shops on the Ruby Princess altogether. She just didn't have a lot of... She didn't really have any Ruby Princess keychains. She didn't have any Ruby Princess magnets. And definitely didn't have any ship models. And they kind of said they were in a bit of a supply issue problem. So, but yeah, so that was a little disappointing. Hopefully Discovery will be a lot better.
Love the cruising Christmas tree. I usually buy a Christmas ornament while in ports of call.
Yeah, we just figured the keychains would be good because you can always get a keychain from every place you go. So Tiffany can get one, hopefully, with the ship name on it. Get one, inside the ports, stuff like that. Every place she goes to, she can get a keychain because I always have keychains.
Yeah. Plus the keychains, they're a lot smaller, so they don't take up as much room.
And since they already got the little circle on it for the keys, perfect for hanging on a small little Christmas tree. So come much closer to Christmas time after Thanksgiving, we'll actually put that tree right here in between us. And it'll be available for everybody to take a look at, and also gives us a little more time to get some more keychains. Since we just started that this year.
Yeah.
So we don't have quite as many keychains yet.
And we don't mix the keychains with the Disney tree.
Yes, Tiffany has a Disney Christmas tree she has for the living room. And I've already been told that keychains will not go near her Disney Christmas tree. First thing she says, oh yeah, a tree in the studio. That would look really, really good. Which translates to, don't bring that in the living room. Didn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I know how to take that hint. But those are pretty much our cruise souvenirs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on things like that. Say key cards you get every time.
Big souvenirs like that, they're kind of hard to... What do you do with them?
When you're not...
Yeah,
Well, then you got to stuff them all in your suitcase, and you can get a whole bag full of magnets and keychains in the suitcase.
Yes.
And I'm sure, come Alaska, especially since Tiffany's never been in any... Well, neither have I, but we've never been in any of these places. I'm sure you'll come home with a whole buttload of magnets and keychains and...
Well, at least 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 6 magnets for sure.
Yeah, because you got 4 cruise stops.
And then
the ship
Seattle.
And Seattle.
Yeah, so at least 6.
So yeah, that should give you should home with at least 6 magnets and 6 keychains.
Yeah. And if we go to like the Pop Culture Museum, if they have a magnet, we got to get one from there. And that would be 7.
What you mean if?
Well,
No. What do you mean if?
I forgot that the Space Needle's there, so we gotta go see that.
I think they're next to each other.
They are.
If I looked at the map correctly, I think where the Space Needle's is in like that park area.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Pop Culture Museum is like somewhere right in that vicinity.
And then we gotta go find the good coffee shops.
I don't know. I don't drink coffee. What's a good coffee shop in Seattle?
And not Starbucks, please. Anybody that has any coffee shop ideas other than Starbucks, not a big fan of Starbucks.
I'm not a big fan of coffee, so.
But I do know Seattle is the first place Starbucks started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think there's actual Seattle coffee companies.
Seattle's best. There we go.
Yeah. I had a feeling there was actual Seattle coffee.
Yeah.
And since we're going to be down in that area... I guarantee there's going to be some kind of coffee shop. a lot of the hotels that I was even looking at had coffee shops in them.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of a thing.
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out. That's true.
So do y'all, if any of y'all have done the Alaskan cruise, what are some tips or some places we need to try out in Seattle?
There you go.
Or even in the ports in Alaska?
Burger King.
We're not going Burger King.
Burger King.
No.
Carl's Jr. You wanted Carl's Jr. in Cozumel. I have it on video.
No, I wanted the bucket of tacos.
The Ruby Princess videos actually start tomorrow. It's a couple videos in, but you guys will have to watch to understand bucket of tacos. There's a whole segment on there about a bucket of tacos.
Yes.
And that's because Tiffany wanted a bucket of tacos and Carl's Jr.
Yes. Well, I did not want Carl's Jr. You don't.
Huh?
No.
No Carl's Jr.?
No.
All right. And it's been a pretty quiet week.
Yeah.
Cruise news has been fairly quiet. There's been a couple ship delays. I did a video about some cancellations. That last minute transatlantic cancellation, boy, that would have been a tough one to swallow. Cunard Cruise Lines, they were doing a transatlantic, was supposed to leave this past Sunday, coming from Southampton to New York, and on embarkation morning, they said cruise canceled.
Oh no.
Yeah, technical issues. So
Attila says no Alaska for us yet. We're waiting for y'all to go so you can give all the tips and tricks.
fair enough.
I like that.
Fair enough. We will come back with as many as we possibly can. Don't feed the bears. What do you think?
Yeah, don't beat the bears.
Don't feed the bear. Tiffany's determined she's going to see a bear.
Yes.
She wants to see a bear. She wants to see a whale.
And a seal.
And a seal.
And an eagle.
And an eagle. And the Northern Lights.
And the Northern Lights, yes.
If available.
If available. So, he was asking, I guess the article you saw.
Well, they were asking over on Carnival's site. I guess one of the ships that is up there saw the Northern Lights. I guess the Northern Lights are visible this week. And so they wanted to know, hey, would you want to get woken up in the middle of the night on your cruise if the Northern Lights were available? Do you want a major ship-wide announcement? So you can go outside and take a look.
I said, heck yes, wake me up, please.
I agree.
Bang on my door.
And everybody that I saw that actually answered that said yes.
Connie says yes.
I completely agree. Most cruisers, I think, would want that, but I guarantee you there's somebody who's going to go no.
Are we planning to do the White Trail train thingy in Alaska?
We haven't really decided yet. We're kind of thinking that the very first time we go up there, we may just do it, whatever kind of days. Kind of just, check out Ketchikan, check out Skagway, and just kind of check out the towns, the ports, and just kind of do it on our own this time.
Karen said she heard it's a must. So we must look into it.
We can definitely look at everything. I got a feeling that this is definitely not going to be our last Alaska cruise. I'm sure there's somebody, but for the most part, people come back from Alaska and are just like, oh my God, and they want to go again. I fully expect us to be the exact same way.
Aunt Lai and Chris, they were head over heels for Alaska and can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, I can't wait to just see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen the pictures and some videos, but that just cannot. I just don't think that can give you exactly how it's going to feel to see it yourself. If that makes sense. I don't know. I know I'm saying that goofy, but
I've heard that too, that you won't see everything your first visit.
And I agree with that. I mean, we've been to Cozumel 10 times.
And saw stuff we had never seen before this last time.
And yeah, and we were here this last time, our 10th time in Cozumel, and we're walking around and we're like, what is this? We saw an earth fertility
Mayan traditional dance rain.
Yeah. But in a place that we'd been multiple times before. And we'd never seen this before. And they hang from this pole and they hang upside down and swing. And they play the music while they're upside down coming towards the ground. I don't even remember that pole being there before.
We're going to have to go back and look at videos.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and look at previous trips and see if that pole was even there.
Because we've been in that center
multiple times. Yeah, so I can only imagine in a place like Alaska, too, where, you're talking wildlife and nature on the month, the season, year to year. There's no way we're going to see everything in one single cruise and be like, okay, we've seen it all, we're never going back. I can't see that happening. I got a feeling we're going to be like, all right, now we got to go back, every year or every other year, Alaska's going to have to be a normal part of our cruising season.
Yeah. Well, that is just nice too. We've always gone south to the tropics and.
Well, that's because the tropics are just right here.
Well, I understand that. So it's going to be nice to go
a different direction. That's true. It is going to be nice to take a cruise that does not stop in Cozumel. But it would not surprise me to see it. First stop, Juneau, Ketchikan, Skagway, Cozumel, Mexico. Wouldn't shock. But I would just not be surprised, to be honest with you.
But we like Cozumel.
I do like Cozumel. It is one of my favorite places. But I am perfectly okay with going someplace else.
Yes.
At least once. We don't have to go there every single time.
No.
And that's why I told you they're gonna drop Canada and put Cozumel in there instead. How about that? Bears, Mr. Sancho's? What do you think?
Yeah.
So what else are you looking forward to in Alaska? And crabs and stuff like that. I'm willing to bet you that's pretty darn fresh.
I'm looking forward to that.
Some really, really fresh seafood.
I'm still a little nervous about what to pack.
Clothes.
What?
Moose stew.
I have heard moose is very good. My dad lived in Alaska for 20 years, and I never went up there while he was there, but he used to hunt moose and said moose is really good meat.
I've never heard anybody even mention moose stew. Now I am interested in moose stew.
So we're going to be on the hunt for moose stew.
Moose stew. I've never even had an opportunity to eat that. That would just be...
That's going to be our did you ever.
I'd just like to come back and say, dude, I ate moose stew. All right, moose stew. You got me at the name.
Yeah.
Just to say we tried some moose stew. So we'll look for moose stew, and we'll give that a taste.
Yes.
Have some moose stew.
We always say we got to try something new on every.
Oh no, I'm utterly fascinated by that. I will try it once. I will definitely try it once, and now I completely lost my train of thought. I way sidetracked by moose stew. What was I talking about? Tiffany got it. Oh, what you were going to pack.
Yeah. Still.
I still say clothes.
And yeah.
What do you think?
I think so.
Probably don't need a bathing suit.
Layers. Karen says layers. So
probably don't need a bathing suit.
No. I haven't packed a swimsuit on the last 2 or 3 cruises.
So I wouldn't worry too much about that. You probably don't need a whole bunch of shorts.
No. So I did buy some new jeans. Got some jeans. Say moose stew 3 times in a row.
If I click my heels while I say it, do I get a bowl of moose stew? That is the real question. That is the real question. I want to click
I'm
my
waiting for you to do it.
Click my heels or say move stew
Move
3?
stew 3 times.
Probably not. I probably said it goofy about 10 times already. Probably have already said that pretty goofy a couple of times. Look, you're going to pack pants, socks, stuff to keep you dry, layers.
Yes.
Layers, layers, layers. I know we're from Texas, but you know it does occasionally get chilly.
Karen says moose stew might just be cooked at home. I don't know. We're going to look for it, though.
Well, look. I mean, they got restaurants and everything else. Hey, we'll look. Because I want to try that, and I want to go to the brothel museum. I don't know why, but that's fascinated me since day one.
Well, Aunt Vi said that was the place to go.
She enjoyed it.
She enjoyed it tremendously. Some ships have covered pools and have a heated water, so swim in Alaska.
Tiffany will not swim in Alaska.
Actually.
Tiffany will not, rarely ever will swim in a pool.
No, I'm. But I'm thinking I'm gonna take my swimsuit in case they offer, to do the polar thing where you jump into cold water.
The Arctic swim dip?
Yeah, I might be way too late for that, but I'm gonna be prepared because
Okay.
I want to try that at least once, so I can say I did it. I'll freeze my hiney off, but Marco says hi.
Hey, Marco. Yeah, but let's not let Tiffany fool you guys too much.
I don't swim.
She's the weirdest swimmer ever. She does not like swimming pools or any of that kind of stuff. She is not a fan of swimming unless it's clear water in the Caribbean and you give her a snorkel mask and then you're chasing her. Then she's in the water and she's gone.
I want to see the shark as it's coming to eat me.
There's not even a shark in a swimming pool, but you won't.
Well, that just, I got a whole nother reason for that. That just.
Yeah. So she's so weird about where she'll swim and where she won't swim. But yeah, put her in some clear Caribbean water. She's gone. You'll never catch her.
And paddleboarding. I love paddleboarding.
Yeah, put her on a paddleboard and see, they know you.
Yeah.
She does love some paddleboarding as well. You're absolutely right. And me, not so much. I do paddle falling off.
I think if you'd have had better luck the first time,
Yeah, no, I did paddle falling off. You did paddle boarding. Then we went on that one excursion and I did paddleboard. I just sat down the whole time. But you won't even get on a jet ski with me.
No.
So.
You have your things. I have mine.
Mine have engines. They go real fast. You know what I want to try? One of these cruises I think we really need to try? Parasailing.
Yes. I think so.
You'll do parasailing with me?
Yes, I will do parasailing. You're in a life jacket, right?
And I promise not to unbuckle your harness.
With all the harnessing.
And I promise not to unhook you so you
That's
fly
why I asked if we were in a life jacket.
I promise, I got you.
I already know.
You have a parachute, and you can take a snorkel mask with you. So when you land in the water, you can just snorkel your way back. How about that?
You're funny.
But yeah, I want to try that.
Yes.
Parasailing, I think, is something we really want to try. I can just imagine the great video I could get when we get up all high like that.
Yeah.
Get the camera up there.
Zip lining. I want to try zip lining.
You can. And that zip lining, I don't know. It doesn't call to my soul. It doesn't. It's like, hey, cool, slide down the rope. Too many years in the military. I've already gone down things, up things, around things, climb things. After that many years in the military, I'm not a fan of camping. I've camped my life.
Yes.
I'm good. So I like to stick with things that, we didn't get to enjoy. Like snorkeling.
Yes.
Didn't get to do that. We didn't have parasailing. We had parafalling.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I like to do the good stuff.
I like glamping. You know what glamping is, right?
Isn't that like staying in a hotel? Or an RV? Does it count as camping if my cabin has a balcony? How about that? I can see outside from inside. I can open the door and go out on the balcony. I say that counts as camping.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yes. Karen says yes.
Exactly. Done and covered. I am now a fan of camping from a balcony cabin.
Yes.
That is my idea of camping. That when I'm done outside, I can go inside.
Yes.
You know, I sleep on a nice, soft, comfortable bed.
Have a hot shower.
Have a hot shower.
Hot meal.
Clean clothes. Room service.
Yes.
Room service, exactly.
AC running water, not bugs or wild animals. Yep.
I'm okay with the wild animals. Like, I look over the railing of my balcony and be like, look, there is a bear on the side of that mountain. Hi, bear. I'm okay with that. What do you think?
Yes.
Or look over the side, depending on where you are, and go, look, hi, dolphin. I'm okay with that.
Yes.
But I agree with you. I'm not roll over and be like, hi, skunk. No. You know, hi, raccoon gnawing on my leg. No.
Yeah.
You know, snake in the bed. No. So I do agree with it. And not bugs.
Yeah, no bugs.
No bugs, no bugs, no bugs. All right, so I think all we've really accomplished today is we've had some fun, we've had some laughs, and we decided as long as you have a balcony, it counts as camping. And moose stew.
Moose stew.
And moose stew.
One more time.
No. And we're going to undo your harness while you're parasailing. For messing with me about moose stew. What do you think about that?
You said it.
I did. I know I did. But that's okay. That is part of the fun here. That we didn't actually have anything really super important to talk about. We just thought we'd come on and just talk to everybody.
Yes.
Just have a fun cruising conversation, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have anything super important to talk about until we get back from Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever we manage to learn between now and Alaska. Which I don't know how much it would be. We will do some live shows on the Alaska trip. We'll do one from Seattle. We'll do one on embarkation day. And then anything after that, honestly, will depend on the quality of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be... Well, that's the case with every cruise. Is how good is the internet going to be? I know it would be really awesome if, you know, the morning of the glacier, I could set it up, put it live, and everybody could watch the glacier passage with us all at the same time. But something tells me that once you get in there, get in the mountains, get all the way up there, the internet's probably never going to cooperate with me doing that, because it's yet to ever cooperate with me doing that. But it would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice. We'll see. I'll have to run tests once we actually are on board the ship. Because I've heard different things. I've heard it, just the mountains and the locations and everything makes internet a little bit rougher. But Discovery's a newer ship. She should have some better possibilities on her, I guess would say.
Yeah.
So.
How many days in Seattle before the cruise?
1.5. So we're actually flying out of here Friday the 19th, but we fly super early in the morning. We're flying out at 6 a.m. And then with the time change, that puts us in Seattle at 8:32 a.m. We got a one-way flight, no non-stop flight. It says it's 4 hours, 32 minutes. So I'm guessing there's a 2-hour time delay or time difference. And then we don't actually board until Sunday morning. So this is a full day and a half.
Tilla says, oh gosh, I'm so excited for y'all. Have a great cruise and enjoy your time there and get some great videos, of course.
Yeah, for the Alaska cruise, I'm taking multiple cameras, multiple lenses. I want to be prepared for anything and everything we could possibly see. particularly on the passage when we go in to see the glaciers and stuff like that. I'm going to have cameras on tripods on the balcony, just pretty much continuously filming anytime there's something to see, and then we'll go through it all after that. But I'm pretty much going to record just about everything we possibly can, just because I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to have to come back and say, oh man, I saw this and it was so awesome that I didn't film it. Especially because I don't know when we're going to get back to Alaska. I'd like to have copies of that just for our library. But yeah, particularly when we go through the glacier, since we got a balcony, we're up on deck 12. I should be able to set the camera up there and just let it go. Just let it go all day long. Just go out there and swap the batteries every once in a while, recharge it every once in a while. Because I could put the GoPro or something like that out there and just let it record. And we'll have tons of video from Alaska, because I honestly don't know how much. I mean, I just think I don't know how much good stuff we're going to see. I think it's going to be a good stuff overload.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's all on the inside passage, so I think there's just going to be tons to see. I mean, mountains, snow peaks. I mean, you hear stories, people, they look over the side ship and it's like, whales. And we got to be ready for all of that. Mm-hmm. And I know you. Tiffany's going to be out on the balcony in her princess bathrobe, just watching.
With my coffee.
Well, that's because now with the medallion, of course, you know, she can have coffee and snacks and everything sent right to her. Yeah. She may not leave the balcony for days at a time.
I'm okay with that.
I figured you might be. I actually figured you might be. But, all right, does anybody else have any other questions, anything else for us tonight? If not, I think we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up for today. I said, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, everybody. So we just really wanted to come on and just talk to everybody, just have conversation and laugh and have a good time. It's the best part of doing the live videos. Yeah. I said, and it is definitely our goal to continue doing live videos on a regular basis. I have been neglectful in keeping up with them like I should have. But we have more time here. So we will continue doing the live videos on Wednesdays. The only upcoming exception, of course, will be the one that will, while we are in Alaska, unless the internet's really, really good, in which case we may still be able to do it.
Yeah. We'll do it from the balcony.
If the internet holds, we will definitely do it from the balcony. So again, really appreciate everybody being here tonight. We'll be back next Wednesday. The videos for the Ruby Princess, the Embarkation Day video and everything will actually be out tomorrow morning. And I know I made the videos, but I do think that the Ruby Princess, Tiffany was there for the Ruby Princess. I think they're some of the best and funniest ones that we've actually done
in a while.
In a long, long time. I'm actually really, I don't want to say impressed, but I thought they were pretty funny. So hopefully you guys will definitely enjoy the Ruby Princess ones. I know the Radiance of the Seasons one is just me. They're a little dry. Dry, that's a good word for it.
Cody says, thank you. It was fun. Can't wait to see the run.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Ruby Princess.
Yep, she will start tomorrow morning, first thing with Embarkation Day. And it's pretty good. Like I said, we got lost right off the bat. So that was us wandering around the casino, looking for our muster station. We're just having fun.
Yeah.
We had a good time on that. Minus the very last day, and unfortunately Tiffany got sick. So that put a little damper on the fun, but because we had to take care of her, which is always the most important. Because, I get stuck taking her with me on the ship, and of course she gets sick, and, I can't be out partying and rock and rolling and all the things I don't do. I mean, right?
Right.
All right. Again, good night, everybody. Thank you for coming here, and enjoying with us, hanging out with us, talking with us. And we will see everybody here next week. Same time, same bat channel.
Yes.
Or bat channel. Right? Good night, everybody.
Good night.
That is the wrong button. All right, hold on. This is going to have a goofy end because I hit the wrong button.